is what you got.
Aye, that was poor from me. That was poor from me. Muted, you know. Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Spurs of the moment. As you guys should know by now, everything Tottenham we cover here today. And yes, look, I am back. I know the North Divide. This was originally the North Divide, and I had to change it all. If you didn't see my post yesterday, I'm feeling wounded. Even now, bro, I'm already on my second cup of chamomile tea. If you know about the herbal teas, you know, I'm just down in these like nothing at the moment, just to soothe the throat pause. But look, I'm wounded. Tottenham's wounded. Man got fists up on the weekend. And yeah, it's dark, John. It really is dark because it's not just you getting violated by your colleagues. I'm getting violated by anyone, everyone. Fucking my shopkeeper's violating me. Like, I'm getting random people, bro. I'm getting cooked on Twitter. I am getting cooked. Midday Live wasn't a fun one yesterday. I was feeling like shit and coughing my lungs out. I'm trying to get a sense. These men are all interrupting me. I'm rattled because I'm already sick as it is. I didn't want to do no shows, but you know, it's one of them ones when you don't show up. Oh, Jords is running. Jords is hiding. I was like, you know what? I'll show a face to my cooking. And then that's it. Because I really haven't got the energy to stream yesterday. So look, we're back today. We're going to do a bit of review on the game over the weekend. Obviously, an absolute drumming of Spurs. And who is an Ezra? What is an Ezra? We found out it ain't so easy. So, yeah, all of the stuff in the game we're going to break down a bit later, but make sure you guys smashing the like button on your way in. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Let me close my curtains because this is like creating some mad effect to my face. Man's looking. Not that it's a problem. Not that it's a problem, but I'm looking, yeah, in that light, I'm looking awfully white. But, you know, let's just get back to normal terms. Let me change this one as well. Oh yeah. Let's add some, you know. But yeah, man. One thing that will not be ignored, and one thing we will not have today, is Man United fans trying to come in the chat and clown. Because we saw just yesterday, Midday Live, Saeed was talking. You know, man, I'm doing meetups in the car park again. But it ain't with Bruno, it's with the Karens this time. The Karen, man's beefing Karens in the car park. Focus on beefing Bruno, bro. Man got beat by, them man had 12 men against 10 and they lost. 12 versus 10 and you man lost. Idrissa Gueye started a fight with Michael Keane on purpose. The man started a beef, got himself sent off and said, you know what, I'm going to make this easier for you, man. I'm going to make this easier for you, man. And you still got fists up. You still got fists up by Everton. Clean sheet on your own gaff. In your own gaff. Honestly, Man United, one of the biggest jokes in the Premier League, man. You man have, you've got to take time with it. You can't get involved in the cookings. You can't get involved when man are all, yeah, Spurs this, but you can't get involved. You can't, because you need to look in the mirror, a long, hard look in the mirror. You're a homeless man laughing at another homeless man. Shit, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're both in the same situation. We're in the same boat. We're mud brothers. Last year, you forgot we were the mud brothers. So, it might not be mud brothers this year, but boy, if one thing is going to remain clear. If we're down, you're down too. Just know them ones. Know them ones. But yeah, man, look, how could I forget? How could I forget? Of course, if you guys want to become exclusive members of the channel, you want to have that VVIP, that very, very important person badge next to your name when you walk into the club. All you have to do is go to the link in the pinned comment and you can become a descendant, become a delinquent, join the royal memberships now. You know, one of them ones. Join that up. But let me get to the chat, man. I'm getting Eze pic sent to me. Yeah, it's dark. Morning, everyone. Good morning to my guy Chills. Do you know what? I'm so glad we've got Liverpool fans in here. We've got Man United fans in here. We can all, we can do a little round table together, a little therapy session. We can do it because we're all in the mud together right now. Like, certain man get slapped up 3-0 by Nottingham Forest. Madness. Can't believe man let Sean Dyche hit them with the stunner. Crazy. Let Sean Dyche hit them with the stunner. And then, obviously, Man United is Man United. So, do you know what? Big up to you, man, innit? Because we got to stay together right now, innit? It's not one of them ones. We got to stay together right now against the Arsenal, Chelsea, City conglomerate, because it's not going well. It's not going well. Bally on, hood up, shades on, settings. Yeah, I wish that could be the case, but I can't, unfortunately, at work. As you see, I've even got turtleneck on because we've got meetings and stuff in between these, so we got to move it on. We got to move it on, and can't be doing bally up. We've got to keep it a little bit corporate, professional. Morning, everyone. We just have to be humble about where we are at the moment. The team is beyond average, and we desperately need 8 players. Not signing Morgan Gibbs-White for that midfield power is costing us. I can't agree with this, Kaufman, man. I can't agree with this because I get where you're coming from. Totally get where you're coming from. I think we're definitely missing a player in the midfield. I don't think we need 8 players. I think that's probably a stretch, but we need a player in the midfield who can progress the ball through the lines. Whenever I watch the likes of either Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, I watch Baleba, I watch obviously Caicedo, you can go Zubamendi, Rice, you go to Rod. Like when you look at all these other DMs in all the other teams, most teams have a progressive deep lying playmaker or someone that can actually create from deep. We just haven't got that. We haven't got someone who even play passes from deep effectively, whether it's short range, long range. I need a guy that can do those 5 to 15 yard passes effectively. That's what we need. I think we're missing someone of that profile in particular. So look, I do get what you mean, but I don't even think Morgan Gibbs-White was the solution. If you look at Nottingham Forest so far this season, Morgan Gibbs-White has not been one of the best players. Even in that game against Liverpool, he weren't the greatest. He was pretty poor, to be honest. Gives away the ball quite a lot. His first touch isn't the best. And he gets himself into dangerous positions. But away from that, I don't actually think, with regards to building out from the back, he's much of a help. Plus, you're probably not even going to see him make the England squad. So, like, I generally don't think Morgan Gibbs-White is anywhere near what we need. I think we need a player above his level. We're missing that conductor, man. Like, we got the Thomas the Frank engine, but we ain't got a conductor. We've got no conductor in the team. So we don't know when to stop the train or even when to slow up or when to speed up the train. It's just the train is running just consistently. We're on a super loop. It's one of them. We're on a super loop, non-stop. Long balls over the top, direct play. It's not great to look. It's not great to watch, to be honest. Let me just get some of the stats up from this game whilst I'm catching up in the chat. Big up to Mustafa here. You have to be fair, Mustafa. If the answer for your club, I have to do it. I'm expecting to have to do it as well. Everyone, where's Jords? You're running. I would have gotten to Mustafa, but he's here. Where's Z? Where's Z? He was doing a load of the past week. Alarm, big up to John. Just enjoy the atmosphere, Saeed. That was funny. I can't even lie. Arguing with a Karen in the car park is crazy. Crazy from Saeed. And don't take this wrong way, but he's a black guy. He's a dark-skinned male. He's a tall guy and he's a big guy. To be arguing with a Karen is crazy work. Crazy work doing up the angry black stereotype thing. The Karen was in her right to start making reports on them things because man is all shouting outside, scaring the people. Them stop scaring people, Saeed. Yo, we're shit, man. What's going on, man? Stop scaring people, bro. Call Bruno to the car park, not the Karens, not the Karens. But this team is not beyond average. The managers are clueless. Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Well, I get why you're saying that, and I suppose for Tottenham Ranger, this would have been a game just confirmed more of his thoughts of where he was at previously. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, Tottenham Ranger's a guy who didn't even want Frank in. Has been persistent in saying he wants Frank out. So I suppose that game built into your confirmation bias that he's not the right manager for us. But we, for one, can get involved. Come on, you Gunners. That was a smart one. I'll give it to you, I am. That was smart. That was smart. Manager needs time and investment. Yeah, I do agree with you, Tom. I do agree. I think we definitely need investment and he needs some time. DJ, Dip Sangana says, morning, Jords. What type of managers do you think you should go for next? Because I don't think Frank can turn this around. I mean, he can get a couple good results here and there, but same old, same old. So for me, I'm not on the thought that we need to go and get another manager. I'm not. I think I could be there in a few weeks. I think if the performances don't get any better and we consistently start to play the way that we have been, I'm starting to see signs of new noble. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the little 5 or 6 game period that we've had, Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal, that was a very similar period to what we had for Nuno with Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, I believe. I believe it was those exact 3 games that pretty much called his career time at Spurs. So I am definitely worried, and I do have a lot of concerns regarding the way that we're playing, the way we're setting up, the lack of progression, I'm seeing adaptation, but the adaptation is not working. So when we talk about tactical flexibility, it's only as flexible if the team looks good, and the team's not looking good. So there isn't much of a tactical flexibility at the moment. One thing that I did have a problem with is it didn't seem like the players were communicating or were listening to the communication coming from the bench a lot of the times with their positions, how passive and how defensive we was in it. It seemed like we'd set up to stop Arsenal rather than to win the game, which seemed far too much of a concern for me. So, yeah, look, I do get a lot of the Frank concerns, and it could be time, or it could be soon that I call it time with him. But I think with regards to next managers, there's not much out there, man. We have to be honest. Like, there's Glasner, but does Glasner leave Crystal Palace right now for Tottenham? He might not. He might not. I think Spurs could definitely try and poach him, but will he leave? I don't know. There's Areola, another good manager, but not someone that I'm a massive fan of. I think he plays good attacking football, but at a higher level. Don't think it's going to be replicable. I think it's just going to be, with his high line, it's going to be very dangerous, and you're going to get a lot of people call out how attacking he is. And how they lose their defensive structure. Like, Bournemouth started off the season really well, but over the last couple of weeks, I've been a bit in a iffy form. So, I don't think it's right to judge him off of just the small form and so on. They had a lot of changes in the summer, losing a lot of their best players. But I think for me, Iriola's not one of my number one choices. Away from that, you still got Xavi out there. Xavi was my number one option going into this managerial search. So I think Xavi would definitely be one of them. And then away from that, I generally haven't got that much names. Haven't got much names that I personally think of. I know some people are going to throw out some hip managers from the Bundesliga and so on. And look, I'm not going to act like I'll watch fucking Stuttgart or some shit like that, because I think that's, you hear like about Seb Honus and some of these other teams, and again, like, they're not teams that I pay attention to too much, so I couldn't even tell you like, yeah, he's going to come in and do this and do that. So I haven't done enough research right now this season to see who would be a manager that I would take, but yeah, I think at the moment it's too soon, man, too early to even start doing those talks. Big up Jords as a who. Yeah, everyone seems to have found the video of me on 12th man going like, Ezra, like, who am I supposed to be scared of? Ezra. I saw Steve the Madman share it. It's dark. Like, it seems like every time there's a clip of me getting cooked, somebody's got to start sharing it. Somebody big is sharing it somewhere. You know, I deserve it. I deserve it. And I was talking a lot last week. Okay, they could have scored more if not for Big Vic as well. And do you know what's funny, John? Because I still am seeing like these reports come out that Spurs are looking for a new goalkeeper. Transfer News Live or Transfer Daily Live, whatever the bullshit Twitter page that is, consistently trying to push out narratives that Spurs are looking for this player, Spurs are looking for that player. Spurs are not signing a new goalkeeper, people. Big Vic is one of the top goalkeepers in the league. His shot stopping, yeah, his ball playing isn't the greatest. It's not. He could definitely improve his distribution. But him as a goalkeeper, like he made like 4 or 5 saves over the weekend, but important saves because they were big ones. Chelsea game, massive saves in that game. He's just been really solid all season. I haven't got a bad word about Vicario to me this season. I have to be honest. The manager played dead set piece football for 4 years at Brentford. Why are people thinking he's the right guy? There's no difference between Sean Dyche, Tony Pulis, and Ian Holloway. There's definitely a difference, man. To say it was dead set piece football is a lie because majority of the goals Vissa and Bremo scored last year was not from set pieces. Like you just have to look at, you know, the stats and the numbers is they score a lot of goals in transitions, a lot of direct play, you know, balls into the wide channels, into the space over the top. And you got to have good, smart 1v1 players in those areas. And I just generally think like with the way we set up on the weekend, one of the biggest problems was we didn't dominate those wide areas. Every time we got the ball out to the wide area, we just didn't have the right players in the right positions to even penetrate Arsenal's back line. We were building out. And for one, the back three was so much further deeper than that of when we played PSG. The PSG game, we played with, and I wouldn't say an attacking, but a front four, what's the word I'm looking for? A front forward, a very forward-fronted centre back. You know, our back line was a lot higher. We seemed like we'd set up in a low block in this Arsenal game rather than a mid block or high, like a high line. We was more in a mid to high line block, you could say, against PSG, pressing extremely high. You had Danso marking the right winger, giving Pedro Porro the space to overlap, but really create down that right-hand side. Having obviously Kudus up top with Richarlison, who was swinging from left to right-hand side, but was doing some great work in disrupting and distracting a lot of players when he was getting on the ball. I think we had the right setup for this game. The execution just wasn't there. I think we definitely should have started with another midfielder in there with Paulinho. When you've got Paulinho, a destroyer, a ball winner, you don't need to pair him up with Bentancur. I get that. I got that wrong as well because I thought throwing Bentancur in there would help rattle the Arsenal back midfield. But I got that wrong. So did Frank. I think we've got to start playing Sarr and Bergvall in there because you just need 2 players who are just naturally more positive in their play, 2 players that can either carry the ball through the line or can play through the line. Sarr is the one that's been better so far this season, but I would personally lean on Bergvall just because his all-round ability and ceiling seems a lot higher than Sarr's. So his on-the-ball technicality seems like something he just needs to improve his decision-making, and it will help him progress as a player, but also help our team progress. So until we do go out there in January or the summer, wherever it is, to go out there and sign a midfielder, I think definitely Bergvall should be the choice in the midfield to pivot. Starting in this game, I do think it was also the wrong decision to not start Xavi. We brought Xavi in as a number 10 to be our creative outlet, to be the spark in the team. We can't not play him in big games like this. Doesn't make no sense. What PSG tomorrow? Xavi has to start. Can't go into these games and not have a number 10 and then expect us to be creative and expect us to have a good XG. 0.07, 0.1 XG in 2 big games against our direct rivals is pathetic. It's unacceptable, and it cannot happen again. Because if it does happen again, we're going to have some serious conversations about Thomas Frank. Some serious conversations are going to be had. I said Port Vale had more XG against Arsenal. Like that's how bad it is. That's generally how bad it is. Like it's just not good enough. Jords, I was your member. Then you said you don't agree with my Israeli flag, but I'm Croatian. I didn't say anything, Machina. Actually, I remember what you said because it was on another channel, and what I said was I don't have no political views to share on that because I'm not someone that is politically correct. If you want to go and find out about who to vote for, don't watch Durag Diaries because I don't know myself. Yeah, I don't have a strong political view, so whatever flag you want to have up, you can have up as long as it's not offending anyone. So I don't really know what you're trying to get at here, but I thought we were cool. Um, let's see. Let me catch up. You need like a Caicedo or even a Santos. Yeah, to be fair, that's exactly what we need. That type of profile in the midfield. It would be nice if we had someone that could break down the play and play it through themselves. Obviously, Paulinho hasn't got that ability, and I still think we need someone of Paulinho's type to be in the team, just the experience and what he brings to Spurs. Because even in that game, Paulinho was probably the best player on the pitch for us. When you look at it, the work, the ground he covered, obviously his actual on the ball passing wasn't the best, but again, he didn't lose the ball overly too much. In our own half, only got one pass wrong, 17 out of 18. Long passes, got 1 out of 2 correct. Defensively, he won 6 out of 8 of his challenges, made 3 clearances, 3 recoveries. And yeah, I think ground jewels weren't necessarily his best thing. I think he lost a few duels, but he was definitely the best player on the pitch for us, from my perspective, anyway. Um, and then looking at Arsenal, I think I'll give them their praise and credit. I think the midfield had done a really good job in that game to just stop Spurs from progressing the ball any bit into their half. Like, we did have periods in the game of when we took over possession and so on. I think after we got our goal, started to get a little bit more confidence, started to play. But for the majority of the first half, Arsenal was full dominating. The first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half, they had the same. We had a little 10 or 15 minute period before they come back into the game. But they done really well to shut us up. I think on the wings, you can look at Trossard and say he had a really strong game. He's a player who I suppose never really gives you that direct threat in the 1v1, but his off the ball running is so smart that he always finds himself in good areas, like we saw for the goal that they eventually scored. Moreno with an amazing ball over the top, but Trossard with a really well-timed run to get into that position center of the box, to find himself through and on goal. You've got to give him the credit for that. And then away from that, as much as the goal he scored, he also got a really nice assist for Eze. So you can look at it there and say he was good. Eze, like I said, I think I got it wrong. Eze had a really strong game. I think one thing that was really helped by him is they managed to draw Spurs out of positions a lot of the times and create a little bit of chaos where they could find a little transition, and it's not necessarily from back to front a transition, but maybe from the halfway line where Spurs have stepped up a little bit from a corner or so on, and we spread out positionally wise. They created a little bit of chaos, and you had Spurs running back on themselves, and a lot of Eze's goals came from a few players running back on themselves and him finding that space on the edge of the area. One thing that I did point out to Hooks in our preview, saying a lot of players get space on the edge of the box against Spurs. This is something I've noticed with the Thomas Frank system. We defend very passively and like to block shots and like to stand in front of the goal. But sometimes you need someone to just go out there and press that player, and that's what we're missing. We have been missing this season. We haven't got those guys pressing out of the box to the edge of the area. And I suppose with the first goal we conceded, one of the problems was that Udogie wasn't holding the line along with everyone else. So that comes down to match sharpness, match fitness. Haven't played with the team for a few weeks, hasn't been starting, played in the system with a back five. We just weren't positionally set up correctly. So Arsenal just got the better of us. They were just better than us in every bit. And, from defensively to their attack, to their midfield, it was just so much better than us. They shut out Mohamed Kudus, didn't offer nothing. Wilson Odobert didn't offer nothing in the game. Brought on Xavi Simons, who, again, don't really think he had a terrible game, but really didn't offer too much when he come on the pitch. A few little nice dribbles. I suppose he was doing a lot of stuff in their half, trying to make stuff happen, but lost the ball a few times. Had a few shots that weren't necessarily great. And yeah, I can't really say Xavi Simons had a good game. Kolo Muani come on looking like Bane. and again didn't really offer nothing in the 25 minutes he was on the pitch. Yeah, like all the subs we made, I'm looking at the subs now, and I don't recall them doing anything of significance. And Arsenal just, we played into their hands. We played into their hands. It was just such a really poor team performance. Well, let me come back to the chat, man. Let me come back to the chat. Set piece coach, pack your bags. Yeah, so we didn't even concede a goal against Set Piece FC. It's crazy. Not conceding a set piece, sorry, against Set Piece FC, and them scoring 4 goals from open play is mad. Mad. Like, that is, I'm pretty sure they've only scored like 4 or 5 open play goals this whole season. They doubled the tally against us. Like, we're Chiefs. We're Chiefs. But not needed. MGW, he's been shit for us. We need a quality 6, good deep line playmaker and an athletic number 8. I think we've got the athletic number 8. I generally do. I just think that we need a deep line playmaker who can play alongside Paulinho. But we would agree there. And you say a left wing striker, left back, left centre back. Those are the areas we need players. So Richie, David, Basuma, Johnson, Dragusin. I don't think Dragusin's going to be sold anytime soon, considering he's been here for 2 years now. He was injured for majority of this last year, literally the whole of this year. So he's only had 1 year of football at Spurs. So I just can't see him being sold as of yet. But I wouldn't be against it. From what I've seen of him, not my type of defender. And I just don't think he's going to be successful at Spurs. But yeah, I think we definitely need to sell some players. And in this January window, that's one of the things the team needs to be working on. I swear I'm still so pissed that we're stuck with this manager. Yeah, I mean, I get you. I said angry black stereotypes are nothing. Where are your MMA champions? Do you know what? I'm big up to all the MMA champions from Liverpool, bro. I'm all about it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm here for Paddy Pimbley. I'm here for Tom Aspinall. I'm here for Leon Edwards. Obviously, he's not champion no more, but man supported them, bro. My man's here for them. Anyone that's from England that's doing their thing in the MMA, man's here to support. Cause big up TGTV. Big up to my guy Raf in the building. Nah, I'm still wounded, man. I'm still wounded, but do you know what? We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing. And I told you guys I was going to give you a live, man. I can't be hiding for days now. And obviously we got PSG tomorrow, so there's not even much more hiding I can do. We got a game tomorrow. Match reactions got to come out. Match previews got to be done. So yeah, Jords, we know that the performances won't get better. So what is the? But we don't know that, Freddie. I can't even read any more of what you've said there because we don't know that. You said that like it was a guarantee. I've seen Mikel Arteta play awful football for 2 years and then flip it around and play some of the best football in the league. So to sit here and act like it can't be changed is lies now. It's just lies. Iriola, people forgot that period he had in his first season where he was on the brink of getting the sack. Iriola lost his whole back line by one player and is still doing well. He's doing well. I've just had my thoughts on him. Looking forward to a 7-2-1 formation tonight. From who? We're not playing tonight. Correct me wrong. We're definitely not playing tonight. I'm off the thought we're playing on Wednesday. This might see. I'm ill. I didn't even watch last night's game. I couldn't. No, we got Chelsea, Barcelona tonight. Tottenham's on tomorrow, the same time with Arsenal's on a Bayern. Yeah, we're on tomorrow. So big up Durag Diaries. Big up to my guy Hyper. Smash the likes, people. Get well soon, buddy. Big up to you, my bro. We're trying, man. Jords, let it all work out. Everyone smash the likes, as Manager Dole says there. Big up to my guy Keros in the building. I said big up little bro Jords. I'll let you have the little bro stuff. The whole family got hit by this cold snap last week, killer bro. It's mad. It's actually mad. It's been getting me down, and I've seen loads of different people say this, like bare people around me getting ill. If it's definitely this weather, man. It's definitely this weather. It's just changing to winter. It's fucking man up. Chest all deflated now. What happened? We know what happened. Iriola and Glasner, 2 fantastic coaches, but I do wonder what Palace and Bournemouth fans felt about them last. Them 2 at the beginning. Glasner 1 win in his first 13 Premier League games, 19th. Iriola 0 wins in his first 9. That's the thing, Kieran. Like, we just saw somebody say, Freddie said it, sorry. He can't turn it around. It can definitely be turned around. Glasner turned it around. Iriola turned it around. People have turned it around in the past. We're going to need to see a lot of change, but it can be turned around. Like, it can be. But Me personally, I'm giving him just a few more weeks. I'm giving him a few more weeks. Big up, Jords. I hope you're good, G. You don't sound well. You got the flu? Yeah, man. Yeah, flu's knocking me down, Godfrey. But big up to Godfrey, man. That's a member in the house. You know, one of them ones. I'm trying to give the energy. I'm trying. Company got Burnley relegated, but Bayern Munich took a chance on him because of the football he tried to implement. It's about systems, and Frank is clueless. Yeah, you can say that is about systems. It even took some time for Company to get right. Last year, a lot of people weren't happy with Company. Or sorry, 2 years ago when he first joined, a lot of people weren't happy with Company at Bayern. But now he's on that unbeaten streak, or sorry, I'll say winning streak or something at the start of the season. It takes time, man. People have got to realize it takes time. I said, get Russell Martin. You're going crazy. Russell Martin just got sacked from Rangers after trying to kill our young G and Mikey Moore and all the hype around him. Like, man got a new manager and he's scoring goals already. Like, keep Russell Martin away from Spurs, but more importantly, keep him away from youth product. Like, this guy does not know how to get the best out of his players. Watching Tyler Diblin under him last season was awful. But even now, Tyler Diblin, that thing don't look any better. So maybe it's a Tyler Diblin problem. Definitely said the fees that were being associated with him were far too high last year. But let's not go off on a tangent. Bless up, Geordie, from an Arsenal fan. I rate your content. Shame you, man, got spanked, but still smash the likes and subscribe. Roll to 5K. I big up to Joby, man. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but I appreciate you every single time, bro. We're trying the content. We got a nice couple months of like pure content to look forward to, and I hope within that time we can reach our 5K goal. So yeah, man, look, whether you're an Arsenal fan, Tottenham fan, or rival fan, come over here, show some love, man. It's all about just having a bit of banter in it. It's just, at the end of the day, you know me. I give it, but I can also take it. I'm not someone that's here going mad after every loss, trying to worry about the rival fans cooking me. Like, we're gonna get cooked. It is what it is, but it's all part of the game, man. It's all part of the game. I cook people, they cook me, and that's ultimately what we're here for. But also to break down the games, man. So whether you are a Tottenham fan, whether you are a Arsenal fan or a rival, you might want to hear my breakdown and my thoughts on the game. So smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's make sure we're helping more people them find out about your boy Durag Diaries, because we're trying to get this bigger and better. Frank to Iraola is a sideways step. If we sack Frank, we need a top manager. We need to stop hoping average managers will come good. Nah, man. I'll be real. I want a top manager, but even Xavi wouldn't be considered a top manager, because we've tried the top manager thing before, ghosting, man. It doesn't necessarily work. Like, go out there and get me a manager that wants to build, that's going to take a couple of years to get to his best. But when he's at his best, it's really there. Like, I don't want instant success, and that's the problem with a lot of football fans nowadays. People want instant success. People just want it to like work straight away off the back. They want to see trophy in the first season. They want to see a 10-game winning streak. They want to be sold straight away without realizing that sometimes it's not all sun. It's not all sunshine and glory. You've got to work your way through the mud. You got to keep pounding down, trying to make something work and find solutions. If that's not working, find another solution. I think sometimes you just got to stick with it, and it's going to work itself out over time. But look, I think we've seen it before with other managers. Pochettino didn't necessarily have a great start to Spurs, wasn't playing the best of football, but once it got going, it was really going. So we have to give it some time. Now, I do understand there's not a lot of signs. There's not. I'll be real, in the performances, there's not a lot of signs to make you believe that's going to get a lot better. But let's just give it some time, man. Look, there's no harm in waiting, I'd say, another month or two. Give it till about January. I suppose over the next month, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, we've got a lot of games. So there's a lot of games to really judge him. A lot of games, we're going to be halfway through the season. If you're halfway through the season and you're still looking at it and you're like, the performances aren't great, then look, I might be Thomas Frank out myself. So I totally get where people are at, but I'm willing to give it more time just because I'm a bit more patient, especially with this process of a football manager. Like, I've seen Spurs bring in managers, sack managers, bring in managers, sack manager, bring in managers, sack managers. And we still, especially in the last 5 years, we've not progressed as a club. We've been stuck in this middle bit where we're not a Champions League club. We're not even a Europa League club. We're not a Conference League club. We're just sort of in the middle of all of this. just a top 6, 7 club, and it's not good. It's not good. I grew up on Spurs being a team always in the top 6 for one, but always trying to get into that top 4, always trying to be a competitive to some sense. And right now, I feel like we've taken a little step back, especially away from the Kane and Son era. Like, we've taken a step back. We need to take a step forward again. But to do that, we need to persist with a manager. And whether Frank is that manager will remain to be seen. But definitely a manager needs to be persisted with. Frank's a good manager. He'll get you working right when he gets his players in. I don't like the when he gets his players in stuff. I do agree with you, but I don't like that because I don't think there's many, like, striker cool, left wing cool, centre mid cool. But even with the centre mid, I think that's something that Thomas Frank wants in there is Bentancur and Paulinho. He doesn't necessarily want a deep line playmaker. I haven't seen Spurs linked with deep line playmakers. I don't know if he identifies the issues the same as us. Sort of like with Ange, he didn't identify that we need a ball winning 6 in the midfield. We've gone out there and got that, but yeah, I don't necessarily think like his players is a thing because he's got Paulinho, Kudus, and Xavi Simons. He got 3 top signings in his first window. Like, we can't deny that. So if he goes out there in January, he gets another 2 signings, let's say a very good left winger and a very good central midfielder. He's been more than backed. That's 5 starting players into your team. I don't want to hear no excuses after that. 5 starting players out of 11. And let's be real, he wasn't going to change any of the back 5 anyway. So he's pretty much got a whole new team. And then you could say a striker, but Colomwani is obviously not that good. And then Solanke is Solanke. So having half of a new team is more than enough to give you time to show that the system's going to work. I don't even want to hear about that. But let me try to catch up because I'm like 15 minutes behind in the chat. We're asking for a fuck. Hey, Ranger, we're not asking for a lot, are we? I just want to shot the target a bit more often. And that's why I wasn't mad when Xavi Simons come on and got some shots. I was like, bro, if somebody's got to shoot on this pitch, bro, I don't even care if he's missing. Just somebody shoot. Like, man's bored of, tired of watching games where we're getting 1 shot a goal, 3 shots at goal across 90 minutes. Like, it's just not good enough. Final form, Arsenal would be dancing and would be doing London a disservice, but not winning the league, to be honest. Yeah, if they don't win the league this season, especially after the last couple of performances with Man City and Liverpool dropping points, this might be one of the biggest bottle jobs we've ever seen. It might be. Frank couldn't even win the Danish league, and man are talking about winning the Prem. Brøndby, was they the best team in the Danish league at the time? You guys educate me. I don't know. Hope I hope you're feeling a bit better, bro. Big up to my guy Elijah, man. Big up to Elijah. Never mind, doesn't sound like it. No, I'm trying, man. We're trying. Sorry, we changed every single thing in the summer at the club. It's not going to change in 12 games. Facts. At least there's some sensible fans in here. Board, directors, and manager. Yeah, we changed everything. No, working every day except Monday now. Yeah, Elijah's a busy man at the moment. So I think going into the Christmas period, you're not going to see as much of Elijah on the channel. But we'll definitely get something locked in. Maybe if it's a videos or some shit. Make sure you guys subscribe to Too Much of E because he's on the late streams, isn't it? So I know I do the morning ones, but you can watch me in the morning. You can watch Elijah at night. You get a best of both worlds, yeah? You get the different time zones, different settings, different creators. So, yeah, man, if you watch me, you should watch Elijah because we're not necessarily saying we have the same thoughts, but I think his content's just as good as mine. That's what I'm trying to say. If not better. He's a lot more creative than me. So his content's better than mine. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. His content's better than mine. Show some love. Big up, Jords. Hope you're getting better from this wicked man fleet. I am, man. It's killing me, Waffle, man. It's killing me. But no, do you know what? If we'd won the game, I genuinely think I would have been cured. You know, there was like, I would have been so high on just life after that win. I wouldn't even worried about being sick. I don't even felt this. Like, the adrenaline would have just pushed me all the way through. I'd have been like, bro, sick. I ain't sick. It's time to cook. I'd have been cooking. I wouldn't even cared. It's dark because I've lost. You know what it was? You're just, yes, you're down in your sorrows. You're there. I'm sat just looking. I was like, bro, I feel like now I'm feeling like shit mentally, but now my body's feeling like shit. And I'm just like, yo, why me? Why today? Because it all happened on the same day. I was feeling fine on Saturday. Fine on Saturday. Sunday morning, I woke up and get a little the tickly throat and them things. And I wasn't feeling too good. And obviously, after the loss yesterday, I was out for the count. I was out for the count, bruv. Why is Frank rotating in cup games if we're not going to win the Prem? Bro, what the fuck are you talking about here? He's rotating because you need to use the full squad. We don't rotate in a cup game, and there's going to be some unhappy players. I don't know if you guys have played FIFA career mode. I don't know if you played Football Manager. You know, you get them messages, those texts. Oh, Gaffer, I really wanted to play in this game today. Can I get a start? Something like that. Gaffer, really, it feels so good if I could play in this cup game. It really means a lot to me. The team morale goes down when you don't play, my man. You start the same team that you started on the weekend. The team morale goes down. You got to rotate. You got to change. You got to keep everyone happy. That's one of the things about having a big squad is a lot of managers don't like big squads because now you have to manage the big squad. You have to manage the personalities. We're seeing right now, Xabi Alonso is even struggling to manage the personalities at Real Madrid, bro. Like, managing personalities is even one of the biggest parts of the job. Away from just, tactical systems and all of that. It's managing people. You got to be a people manager. You got to be a people pleaser. You got to be able to manage expectations and you've got to be able to get the best out of people. So it's a lot more like being a manager away from tactics and systems that is involved in that. And now you talk about rotating in cup games, like, oh, do you not want to rotate because you want to practice the system, but you're not taking in consideration the other mental side of things and that. So yeah, man. Big up to Charlie Tap Drums. Big up Jords, always Arsenal fan, but got a lot of respect for you. Big up Charlie, man. Appreciate you. Big up my ski. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. Big up to Cobby. Down in the dumps with me, us Liverpool fans, Tottenham fans, we're like this right now. We're like this. I ain't even got smoke for Liverpool. I know I come for Dean every now and then, but I ain't even got smoke for Liverpool, man. You know when you man see me doing the Verts and Simmons comparison this summer, I'm trying to help, bro. I'm seeing two men in very similar scenarios. I'm trying to help Verts out. I'm trying to help Verts out, bro. So yeah, man, Liverpool and Spurs, we're like this. We're like this. If we're gonna be Tottenham Ranger, man, you're going on runs. You're going on a run. George, you can't do a PSG watch long. Nah, man. I'll be honest, I can't do a watch long. Man, my systems aren't working that way. You know them ones. Like my system hasn't got the facilities for that. I do direct long balls over the top, direct play. I can't do the intricate possession football. Keep you entertained for the full 90. I can't do it. Can't do it. Now, but all seriousness, my laptop's computer says no, innit? If you might know about Great Britain, the computer says no. To watch alongs, computer says no. It's as simple as that, bro. That's all it is. I'm working on getting a PC though. I'm actually working on getting one. Maybe at 5K in it. Big up my older trim shop. Big up to my guy H in the building. That's a member in the house. You already know what it is. Didn't win one in his first 13. People making up lies to make Frank look better. It was last season he didn't win in 9 games. But when he first joined, he did win because he joined midway through the season. They had a very strong end to the year. So, no, at the start of last season, they didn't win until they played Spurs. That was 9 games in. I'm with the manager. Get Premier League midfielder, progress, score goals. Yeah, lucky thing, I'll get you. Big up to Philly in the building. Big up Tottenham Ranger. You haven't watched the Spurs match since November last year. I refuse to watch mediocre players who are well past their sell-by date. Are you saying I haven't, like, as in you haven't, Philly? Did you mean I, like, I isn't? Yeah, madness if you haven't seen a game since a year ago. Glasner and Iriola turned it around because they actually have a plan in what to do when the teams are in possession, not like Frank, who only focus on winning draws and scoring set pieces. Now, this is where I would agree with you. Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. So, I would agree with you to some extent here. Like Leslie and Riola's game plan definitely looks more set in stone, and their style more like they were losing games because the players weren't used to the style. I do think we have a little bit of that too. The players aren't necessarily used to Frank's style as of yet, but the patterns definitely looked better in their style of play. I don't like the attacking patterns that we're showing right now. I don't like them at all. I don't like the long ball over the top being the only pass that we can make. I don't like that our defenders are just hoofing it forward, up to our lump striker. It's different if we had a Sesko or someone who just constantly dominates in the air, but we don't have that. Richarlison's not that, so this doesn't make no sense. This tactic is so poor. Jords, is because we don't buy top players. Buy top players and the top managers come. I've been through 30 years of different projects. And look, I get you. I do get you, Ghosted. I'm, 25, 26 years of different projects myself. The first project I was watching was Martin Yo. And since then, we've just been on like a run of sacking managers. I think you definitely need top players, but you don't need a top manager, man. You don't need a top manager. You need a manager that's won stuff because it breeds a mentality. I do agree with that, but don't need a top manager. We've seen so many times. Not even funny, like Pep Guardiola wasn't a top manager when he came into the job. Zidane wasn't a top manager when he took over Real Madrid. Arteta wasn't a top manager when he took over the Arsenal job, but he's starting to prove it over years. Like, you just got to have a sane system and a style that you implement and that you trust in, that you play, and it works. It's got to work, innit? Ultimately, the style's got to work. In different leagues and different teams, the styles are more suited for. I think at Spurs, I don't mind the pragmatic style, but the direct way of play and how direct we are is a problem. We can't be this direct. Just trying to play over the press, it don't make no sense. You got to play through the press. But maybe if we had different players in there, maybe he does something different in it. That's one thing I will say. Thomas Frank seemed to have a plan at Brentford. It takes time to get messages across, and it's not help when players are signed late in the window. And again, like, I have to say this, but maybe some of you missed it, but against the Arsenal, you would have seen Thomas Frank was going ballistic on the sidelines a lot. There was a lot of times he's telling players to push up, and they're not pushing. A lot of the times when Arsenal had the ball in their back area and their goalkeeper's taking the goal kick, or, we've hoofed it long, we're not pressing. There was no intent to press. And I don't think that was from the manager, because he said we need to be super, super aggressive in this game. He said it like that before the game. So I can't believe that he's going to come out in a press conference and say, go out there and be super aggressive. And then in the change room, be like, yeah, look, I was lying. Just sit back and we're going to try and hold out this game. Like, it didn't make no sense. So I do think there's a sense of the players aren't helping him at this moment in time. Tottenham Range are the same players who didn't buy into a manager last year, yet that manager still won us a trophy. Facts. That is facts about that. These are the same players. Big up to my guy Beans Pun Toast. He says, big up Jords. Jords, you always give managers so much time. I just, what it is. I think, again, with Ange, I gave him time to, like, everyone has their own I suppose, remit of judging managers. For me, I look into a lot of different aspects. I think some people can be reductionists, and they look at one aspect and it's like, yo, this isn't good enough, so I want him out. Some people look at a few aspects. I'm not saying this is you, but despite them, let me just read out the rest of your message before. Despite of them being out of their depth, we are 14th in the league and you still back to Ange. Why this unnecessary patience? I don't think you're actually correct there, because I stopped back in Ange in January, February last year, officially after the Liverpool game. But we may have been around 12th or 13th in the league, because at that point, I was all in on Europa League, which I was right to be. I was all in the Europa League from early in the season when I clocked that we just weren't going to be playing good football. And also, you have to be real, Freddie. At that point in time, we were going through a massive, massive injury drought, where we had all of our best players out, and they were set to return in February. And as we had players coming back, I wasn't seeing the football improve. And then that's why, for me, I ended up going out, because I wanted to give Ange some grace. And I was like, you know what? I've seen good football from Ange. I've seen some sustained, some statement performances, some statement wins. And I believe that we can do that under this manager. But I wanted to see us have our full first team available again. And once they became available, I didn't see the improvement. And I saw Ange started to play a defensive style of football in Europa League. It was very clear to me that he didn't trust in his own system, and ultimately it wasn't a system that was sustainable and would work across a long period. So I think I like to give time, because I like to make sure that when I am out, I'm out. I'm not going to be I'm Frank out right now, and then in 3 weeks of good performances, I'm Frank in again. And that's just not who I am. I'm someone who stands on business. So when I'm out, I have to be all the way out. So some people already get like an inkling, like they're like, oh, I feel like this ain't right. Oh, I'm Frank out. That's once you get that feeling, some people like that. I'm not like that. I get that feeling. I'm like, do you know what? Pay attention to this now. Let's pay attention. Let's watch. And pay attention. And then once I feel like I can't do it no more, get the manager out. I like to have pride, man. I like to stand on what I say. Because ultimately, if I was just saying things consistently with my emotions, it wouldn't really have much of a thought. If I come in here after every game and this was just going mad, just giving you emotional breakdowns, it's not the most productive way to view things. So I try to be a bit calm and cool-headed, and not as emotional about my thoughts towards the manager. I try to be a bit more logical. But you can run for your full scenarios. Is that to me or is that to Ghosted? I'm guessing that's to Ghosted. Come take Norgard off. It's mad because I actually haven't seen Norgard play all season. I haven't seen him play all season. Like, I'm all trying to think here in the Premier League. I didn't even recognize seeing Norgard play if he comes off the bench sounds. Norgard's all right, though. I actually want him in the summer. I thought, but we got Paulinho now, so I don't need him. The only players Franks didn't get were Savinho and Morgan Gibbs White. Facts. That's it. And I don't. Neither of them are having great seasons so far. I do think Savinho improves us massively. Morgan Gibbs White, no. Bro, your striker options suck. Yeah, I think when Solanke comes back, it'll be better, innit? I do think it'll be better. Are you still finishing above Chelsea this season? We could do. Chelsea are in a decent position right now, but even in that Burnley game, Chelsea showed me they showed me that they ain't that good with no Caicedo, no Palmer. Their back line is there to be got at. Burnley were cutting you man open. And you man weren't finishing chances, just like you weren't finishing chances the year before that. Like, you guys always have problems in front of goal. You have like one or two superstar players, but you miss a lot of chances. So, yeah, man, like, it's still a possibility. Definitely, it's still a possibility. What is wrong with people? What is this? I'm trying to catch up. Same things happen to me right now, Jords. My life is dark, even going to uni right now, G. Yeah, bro, Rafael, I hope you get better, man. It's dark. Everyone's feeling this. Your exceeding hair is like our form at the money. Yo, Jack, you've gotta speak in the King's English when you're typing, because nobody can read what you're saying. I saw the band them trying to cook my hairline last week when I was live. Tottenham Ranger, you trying to see? Look, that's all I need to do. I know, trying to cook my hairline last week. They were trying to cook my hairline, thinking my name is Bob. I didn't want to start calling out the bold man, yeah, but I ain't them, man. My thing fresh, clean. You know what I mean? Because you man saw me a couple months without trim, they thought that my hairline was gone, and I was using the rags to hide it. The rags, they hold the superpower in. When I put the do-rag on, it's holding the power in it. It's stopping this from being unleashed. Because once I get the trim and it's, dangerous games. Dangerous. You know what I mean? Man, be bobbing and weaving. Once the trim's out, yeah. Trust me, don't even want to focus. Let me concentrate because you can't style me. You definitely can't style me, No managers have been 100% back to our club, and it shows. That's why we have 2 trophies in 20 years. Yeah, I do agree with that. I don't think no manager has been fully back. But we've made change, man. We've made change. Hopefully, this new structure at the board level brings us a better windows ahead, innit? Temporary setback, normal service will be resumed shortly. How temporary is that? How temporary is that, Chills? Big up to Frosty, man. He says I got my surgery date. It's the 11th of December. Oh yeah, that's real soon, Frosty. Just another 3 weeks. Hopefully, everything goes well with that. You said you're scared. You gotta stay brave, man. Don't be like Spurs. Don't be passive. Don't be defensive. You know, don't get shook. You've got to go out there and just be brave, man. You know, one of them ones. Be strong, stay positive, and things are all gonna work out. We all send our best wishes over here, man. Big love for real, Frosty. Not of first have higher standards than knowing the loss, because when they see it, 8 games was more than enough to be a manager who had them wide open and playing in the medical department. Yeah, but he didn't win any. That's common, man. Like Andrews brought in and didn't win any in 8. They had a big window. They were facing a lot of teams they should have beat. Andrews being awful, and Andrews would never work mid-season. That's one thing I would double down on. None. Actually, no, I didn't take any. So I keep saying you're trying to dunk on me, but you can't dunk on me. You cannot style me. Gotta try harder. You gotta try harder, fella. I said 3 on Arsenal. You said 2 on Spurs. Who was the closest? Well, you don't win for being the closest. You win for being right. And neither of us was right. So you didn't win. You didn't win. See how brainwashed the likes of Ghosted are too much. Savage channel confing from. Oh, here we go. Tottenham Rangers, stop beefing in the chat, man. Xavi under Xavi. You know what I mean. Xavi under Xavi. I need Professor X at the helm. You know, one of them was Professor X coming in on the wheelchair. I need a little Professor X. Xavi. Bring me Professor X, bro. Bring me Professor X. I'm a throw this train. I'm a crash the boat. I don't say I'm a crash the boat. I'm a crash this train. Professor X is available. I'm gonna crash this train, bruv. Yeah, fuck a train. I don't need to transport by train no more. I want a wheelchair. Yeah, I want one of them little go-kart things that you drive around in Tesco and that. You know, you get on and you just give me one of them ones. Professor X settings. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get a 4-wheel, all aboard. Let me take a touch. Going a bit too far. Going mad. Let's take a touch. Spurs have only scored 6 set-piece goals. People got to come correct. No, the rest is on per play. Yes, attacking needs to be better. Same time, our attackers are poor. Odobert tell Richie Johnson are average. Yes. And Kieran, do you know what? Kieran's a real one, because I think Kieran and me have been interacting on Twitter for some time now. And I always see Kieran tweets. He tends to be a bit more balanced, but that's one thing is we hear far too often is narratives. You know this from Twitter, but definitely online on these videos and YouTube and so on. People love to spin narratives. Oh, Spurs are set piece FC. We haven't scored that many set piece goals. Like, yes, the attacking play has not been the greatest, but we haven't seen our best attacking team play together. People call Johnson awful, call Richarlison shit. They call Odobert and Tell rubbish, but then they expect him to get the best out of these players. The same people that want Thomas Frank out are the same people calling all 4 of these players shit, but wants him to make us a free-flowing attacking team with these players. It don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. When Van der Ven and Spence blanked him, he should have dropped them both to establish authority. Maybe the players don't respect him. That could be truth, but they both apologized the next day, so I don't think it was that bad. After Xavi, Van der Ven, and Spence all aired Frank on the pitch, I don't think the players rate him. I wouldn't be surprised. I will say that he doesn't look like a super strong character. He doesn't look like someone that lays the smackdown like Ange. I could tell he would have went mental at players. Much as I didn't like Ange, he would have went mental. I feel like he's someone you listen to. He was mad. You've seen that just the way he gets back at like reporters and so on. Whereas Thomas Frank is a very, gives you substitute teacher vibes. That's what he gives you, substitute teacher vibes. You know, he comes in there, he's gonna be nice. he's going to be a little bit, yo, we're not going to do this. But, you know, when you get some of the real bad boys, I don't think he can control them. They're big personalities. And that's one thing I don't think he's had experience of dealing with in the past is dealing with big personalities. When you come to a big club from Brentford, you don't realize that jump. You know, you deal with just Visson and Bomo, and Visson and Bomo didn't want to leave. Now you're at Spurs, you got big players here that have come from big clubs that want to be treated a certain way. I don't know if Thomas Frank can keep up to that, but we'll have to see. Know your place, Jords, European champion, bruh. You never sing that, but we never want that. Levels, bruh, levels. We definitely sing that. We are European champs, and you have not been European champs. And yeah. It's quiet, Saeed, now, isn't it? Quiet. That's what we like to hear. Just, yeah, stop fighting the Karens. Justice for Ange, don't kill me. Jords proper derby this weekend, don't miss it. I will see. I mean, considering they haven't beaten you in 7 years, it can't be that much of a proper derby. Some fans have higher standards than others, while some are happy to make excuses and Spurs to nearly get relegated as long as they win a trophy, while others actually want to compete. Well, winning trophies is the aim of the game, so I do get what you mean, Philly. Like I said, I think one thing I'm massive on, and I've done a massive video and put it out there last season, is even when all the Ange in, Ange out stuff was happening, like, don't tell anyone how to support their club. Anyone in the chat, you're allowed to feel the way you feel. The one thing I will say is just make sure that if you do feel some type of way and you get called out on it, you actually have reasoning while you feel the type of way. Don't tell me you want Frank out just because you want Frank out. Tell me you want Frank out because and then I'm like, do you know what? That's fine by me, because you've clearly come to your thought process. Your opinion has a thought process behind it. I think a lot of people don't have a thought process behind their opinion, and they're sheep and they follow. So that's the only thing I would ask is, you know, when you have an opinion on something like this, just make sure you know what you're talking about and you have a thought process behind it. Yeah, exceeding instead of receding is mad, because I don't know how someone's hairline can exceed. But yeah, players need to take the mantelpiece on regardless of which team he sports. I don't know what that was in reference to. It looks like Ashley has arrived. Well, it might not be. Ange ball, some. People need to stop mentioning UEFA Cup, because we're now paying the price big time for that win, because in order to win that cup, it was detrimental to our league form. We finished 17th. You can't get away from that. It reflects in our performances. We are a team playing with little to no confidence because of Ange. At least Frank is doing everything in his power to try and address it, because after that fraud, Ange ball is back to the drawing board big time. We are trying to lay some serious foundations that starts from the back. Yes, I think you've made some great points here, Ange ball, and yeah, we are laying those foundations. We are, you know, building that out from the back. I think defensively this past weekend was not a performance that we can really reference, but in general, we are definitely building that foundations there at the back. We look better defensively than we did last year. We need to just, you know, it needs to work its way forward, but that's going to take time. That is going to take time. Frank needed a left wing forward in the summer, and we didn't bring one in. Ademola Lookman wanted to come and is a perfect replacement for Son. I warn people that getting rid of Son was a mistake going into this transitional season. And I totally get it. I think getting rid of Son could be seen as a mistake at this point. I don't necessarily think it was, and I'm glad that we parted ways at this time, because look, Son is flourishing over in MLS. He's scoring free kicks. He's having fun. He's over there in a warm country being appreciated for what he truly is. Because I think these last couple of years, Spurs fans and just Premier League fans have really started to disrespect him. I think that he needed this time to just get away and really be appreciated, especially in your latter stages of your career. The one thing you want to be able to do is look back on your career and just be like, yo, I built a legacy and I've done something amazing. Sonny can do that, and especially going and having this move helps amplify that, because he's now in a place where I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but LA is one of the biggest South Korean communities outside of South Korea. So you've got somewhere where his own people are around him. He's going to be loved. He's going to be appreciated. So I personally just look at it. I think, look, it worked out for all parties, that move. Generally, I don't necessarily think we should have kept him, but I do totally get your sentiment, because we are missing a player of his type, someone who can just score goals out of nowhere, someone who can finish, so someone who can just be relied upon within that forward line, because not having no Son, not having no Kane, it does seem weird. It definitely seems strange. I don't think Lootman would have worked, to be honest. Yeah, I'm a bit like skeptical about Lootman. I do think he's a good player though. Luis Diaz, yeah, Luis Diaz hasn't replaced. Nunes hasn't been replaced, bro. The chaos of Nunes has not been replaced. That's one thing that like Liverpool fans don't want to admit, but the chaos of Nunes has not been replaced once. So I do think that's another thing as well. But look, people, I am going to end it there. I do have to get on and do some work throughout the day. We will be back likely at 6 or 6:30 with the Jimmy X George show, where Tottenham Chelsea previews for today and tomorrow's games, but also just we'll be talking football, which Jimmy's probably going to cook me a little bit. We'll see if we're able to cook him, and then preview obviously this weekend where they've got Arsenal and so on. So we will look forward to that. Big up to everyone inside. Make sure you smash a like button on your way out. Big up to El Tel Jose Cocorel and Morning Jords. Dusted down. We go again. Come on, you Spurs. So yes, we do go again. And yeah, look, people, I'm gonna send you guys over to KG, who's live right now. Let's go raid up KG and let him know that he lost against 12 men. So yeah, man. Let's go drop that in his chat. You lost against 12 men. Let's go troll him. Let's go let KG know that Spurs still reign supreme on Man United. You know, one of them ones. But until next time, people, God bless. Goodbye. Have a good day. And we'll be back later on tonight.